In honor of Pride Month, you know we had to do it up, so y'all already know what this means.
I'm gay!
Oh, homosexual!
Being gay just has its perks.
Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Welcome back to year 2 of forcing myself to watch every queer anime I can get my hands on. This year, I decided to drag myself into the depths of hell and consume the most toxic genre in all of anime, Yaoi and BL. Now, this project put me through the fucking ringer, and I did go slightly insane in the first couple of videos. But today, I am so happy to announce that we have made it to the promised land, and I can finally give y'all some of the best yaoi selections out there. I cannot stress enough just how much this video series destroyed me, so if you'd like to help fund my therapy to recover from this shit show, please consider either joining my Patreon, which you can scan for here or click in the description, or you can join my YouTube memberships, which is now live and features all of the director's cuts from this entire series, featuring over 20 plus minutes of unseen footage. So with all that being said, let's get into it. For such a short show coming in at only 4 7-minute episodes, The Boy is a Professional Wizard is a surprisingly deep and fulfilling series with incredible and wildly unique art styles. It was also the biggest whiplash to learn that the creator of this puppy also made another entry to this series, except that entry was The Boy Suffers from Crystallization, which was featured in my worst of video for very good reasons. It's just wild to me how this creator was capable the entire time to write wholesome and respectful BL representation, but instead decided to go that route. Because The Boy is a Professional Wizard is a genuinely great anime, and I was honestly kind of blown away, especially with that ending, it makes this even more stark in its comparison. Overall, this was a truly beautiful story whose gorgeous art style truly sets it apart in all of the best ways. The Boy is a Professional Wizard gets a 8 out of 10. Quiet Please is from the same creators who brought us Alien Stage. Yes, that Alien Stage. Except unlike Alien Stage, this time we're not being dragged through the pit of despair and our couple actually has a shot at happiness together. I am always a fan of opposite attract couples, and this one did a wonderful job at deconstructing why they are the way that they are, instead of just kind of keeping them locked into just blank stereotypes. As a shorter manhwa adaptation, they were able to get a lot accomplished in such a short time frame, and I was really impressed with how they handled sensory overload and the accommodations that those of us have to build for ourselves when the world becomes too overwhelming. I was also a massive fan of the intro and outro music, which totally makes sense because they are both performed by Park Byung-hun, who was the voice of Ivan in Alien Stage. Quiet Please gets a 8 out of 10. Minion is a short, tightly packed vampire tale whose gorgeous aesthetics, impeccable synthwave score, and vibrant storytelling made it the best Korean BL manhwa that I've ever seen. I don't think y'all understand just how hard it is to tell this good of a story in only a handful of 6-minute episodes. We've seen throughout this video series how many bad BL manhwa adaptations failed at this very concept, which makes it even more impressive when it's done this well. It is also worth noting how the intimate scenes were depicted and how consent was constantly checked in on and consulted before proceeding. It is so sad that a basic standard of consent is seen as this meteoric win in the genre, but you know, here we are. There is a manhwa that started after the series ended, which hopefully will tell more of the story, so make sure to check that out if you want even more. Minion gets a 8 out of 10. Oh no, what do you mean your frail, otherworldly body can't handle the magic of this world and the only way to counter it is to use your body in skin-to-skin contact? Oh no, whatever will we do? This concept is so fucking stupid, so tell me why I even like this anime as much as I do. For those of y'all who have been on this channel for a while, you know that I fucking hate isekai. The ones that I end up liking have the most un-isekai premises possible. So when I watched this one and the main character is just a regular guy who, after accidentally being dragged into another world, he finds his purpose by perpetuating the exact same overworking Japanese corporate drone style as before. I gotta say, I was intrigued. Like, instead of a dumb, overpowered fantasy adventures, you just have a guy uncovering financial corruption and abusive powers within the kingdom. And along the way, he obviously starts to fall for the guy who's helping him recover from overdosing on magic. It's really dumb, but they did pull it off in a semi-believable way and delivered a pretty solid slow burn. With a concept this potentially sketchy for red flag consent situations, I thought that they did a good job and handled it with care, which is the lowest of bars, but at least they cleared it. So yeah, I'm not gonna repeat that whole title because I'm not a pop punk song from the early 2000s, so you guys already know the title. We're gonna give her a 8 out of 10. I am happy to report that I have raised my score of Sasaki and Miyano from last year's 7 out of 10 to a very respectable 8 out of 10. I wanted to revisit that review since I do feel like a lot of my opinions have changed since then. One of the aspects that I complained about was how I felt that this anime, being such a slow burn, ended up becoming kinda boring. For those of us who want more spicy, fast-paced content, slow burn romances can feel torturous. But after thinking about it, I think it is wonderful that this type of anime exists. Because there is always going to be fast-paced, spicy BL, so how great is it to have this type too, which never gets too dramatic, doesn't spend the whole time just trauma dumping about the societal backlash of being gay, and just allows these high schoolers to just act like dumb teens. Add in the meta BL commentary and one of the best anime dubs in BL history, and you end up with this absolutely heartwarming gem. So since I've already let the cat out of the bag, Sasaki and Miyano has been upgraded to a 8 out of 10. Twilight Out of Focus deals with a lot of heavy issues. The kind of issues that led me to torpedo so many of the BL ratings in the first two videos. The reason why those are down there and this one is way up here is because of how they handled those series. I never want to knock off points just for including sensitive topics. I knock off points for romanticizing those topics, especially when they're used as tools to romantically push a couple together. Twilight Out of Focus deals with grooming, abuse, and incest all in the first couple of episodes. It shows the vulnerable situations that can lead someone running away from their support system and into the arms of a predatory adult, all because that adult leads them to believe they can save them, when in reality, they're only manipulating and molding them into the perfect partner for them. One who won't tell the world that they're a PDF file. One who won't disobey them because they are providing them with food and housing. One who they can truly mold into the partner that will never go away. This anime shows the mental and physical toll it takes on the minor in these situations. It shows how difficult it is to escape these situations, and it shows the healing that can be gained after you escape. There are several couples showcased in this series, but the first story, which features all of these storylines, is the strongest in my opinion. I thought that this anime did a wonderful job at addressing these difficult topics in a non-judgmental and respectful manner. So because of that, we're gonna give Twilight Out of Focus a 8 out of 10. How many of y'all are surprised as hell that Cherry Magic was a 5 out of 10 in last year's rating and is now a 8 out of 10? I know I sure am. Like, that was probably the #1 comment I got on last year's series, and it actually led me to rewatching the entire thing. I even made a standalone video on the evolution of my views on this series. I definitely, maybe, probably totally judged this puppy a little too harshly on my first round. I'd completely forgotten about these slower moments where consent was checked in on, and even though Kurosawa was batshit head over heels for Adachi, he never actually made any moves on him, and probably never would have if Adachi hadn't first given him permission to. It all comes down to being a story about learning how to build confidence in yourself, and finally allowing yourself to be loved after feeling you were unlovable for so many years. Plus, it's just so nice to have an anime about people in their 30s. I felt so represented. But yeah, big fan of this anime now, so I do apologize for all the whiplash between this and last year's reviews. Cherry Magic, I don't have time or the energy to say the full last long title of this anime, gets a 8 out of 10. Banana Fish is the best action BL that I will never rewatch. And I mean it. I refuse to rewatch this one because it hurts that goddamn much. Which is absolutely heartbreaking because this anime is so good. The way that Banana Fish explores the perpetual silence of violence and poverty that some victims of abuse fall into after experiencing childhood trauma was done so well. It never judges Ash for becoming who he is and shows you exactly why he became that way. The atrocities that he experienced were similar, if not the same, as those whose lives were destroyed by the monsters in the Epstein files. That's my big trigger warning about this one because it gets rough. But it is so important to tell their stories because, as we've seen time and time again, this happens and is still happening in our society. For those of y'all who were active on anime TikTok last year, you already know about the absolute atrocity that was the AI dub on Amazon Prime. Thankfully, since we used our voices loud enough, the dub was removed from their platform, and I am thrilled to announce that Netflix stepped up to the plate and there will be an official English dub coming in the next few weeks. I really hate propping up corporations, but I do appreciate that they took this opportunity to give real voice actors work. I would definitely recommend giving this puppy a shot, just like have something fluffy to watch afterwards. Banana Fish gets a 8 out of 10. Given is an incredible series, full stop. The preceding films, well, we don't talk about her. This review will focus solely on the series, so don't even ask me about the films because they nearly ruined the entire show for me. Everything about Given is so masterfully done. The story is moving, devastating, and occasionally hilarious. The music is incredible, and that performance scene will always make me ugly cry. And the dub is literally a reunion of Skate the Infinity, and I love it so much. Mafuyu's journey of coming out of his shell and starting to finally face his own trauma is so beautifully done and gives the rest of the characters opportunities to face their own demons. It really comes down to a show about coming out of your shell and giving yourself permission to truly live again. Whether that's facing your trauma, coming to terms with your own sexuality, challenging your commitment issues, or learning to choose yourself instead of pursuing relationships that diminish your self-worth. Given truly has it all. And that is why I am more than happy to give, get it, Given a 8 out of 10. I was not expecting a horror anime to be filled with that much sexual tension and innuendos, but here we are. I was kind of hesitant to dive into The Night Beyond the Tri-Cornered Window, to be honest, because there was just so much of it in the first 2 episodes alone. But the way that this puppy developed had me absolutely locked in. It is so hard to do horror right in anime, which makes it even more impressive when it's pulled off this well. One of the elements that helps it reach that level is the exploration of that deep well of trauma, which is at the core of all good horror. That kind of depth transforms horror because it dissects the shared life experiences we all understand and deconstructs the root of so-called evil. Despite some of the spicier elements, which did decrease over the course of this anime ended up telling a really compelling and deeply emotional story, which only the best kind of horror can truly pull off. Because of that, I'm gonna give The Night Beyond the Tri-Cornered Window a 8.5 out of 10. I'm sure you guys have already heard me say this like 50 million times, but Link Click is the best time travel anime. What starts off as an anthology series in season 1 absolutely wrecks you by the end of the season, which I had to wait like 2 years for season 2, so I was just suffering the whole time. All of this sets off a chain of events that had me sobbing by the end of season 2. With a prequel/sequel setup of season 3 and the actual season 3 coming out next month, there's gonna be a whole heap of wonderful chaos headed our way. Since this puppy is a Chinese donghua, all of the BL aspects were severely toned down due to censorship, which, might I add, has straight up imprisoned several BL authors for writing BL, which is why artists have to be so careful about showing queer aspects. So I don't want to hear one single comment about, oh, this is just queer baiting with this or any of the other Chinese entries on this list, because people are literally going to fucking jail over this. But back to Link Click. Yeah, like, this puppy just fucking slaps, and both the original Chinese dub and the English are absolutely impeccable. I try to avoid watching the Japanese dub of Chinese series because it just feels kind of imperialistic to me given their history, but that's besides the point. Just go watch Link Click. That's all I gotta say on the matter. 8.5 out of 10. Antique Bakery is 10 times more impressive now that I've witnessed the horrors that made up the dark days of Yaoi, because this puppy was right in the middle of it. And yet, it managed to pull out a genuinely good series, which is honestly miraculous given the time period. The main character isn't gay, but he was super homophobic to the guy who had a crush on him back in high school. It is now over a decade later, and he hires him to work at his bakery, unaware of their shared past. The only reason why their new friendship survives is because he is forced to reckon and atone for his own homophobia, and that is not a storyline that I've seen explored in anime. What's even more rare is when they explore the reason behind his homophobia, which makes him finally face the traumatic childhood experience that shaped his relationship with men. This is an anime about the damage that occurs when you don't deal with your own trauma. It also does something that I don't really see explored in anime. It dissects the concept of closure and how the bulk of the time, closure just isn't gonna happen. The question becomes, how do you continue on with your life and your healing journey without closure? And what are the supports and work that you yourself have to do to move forward? It's honestly a beautiful story, and one that I wish wasn't so severely underrated, because more of the wider BL audience deserves to experience an anime this good. Antique Bakery gets a 8.5 out of 10. Heaven Official's Blessing is a flagship title in the Chinese donghua industry, and one that held down the fort with pride, literally. As mentioned before, all of the queer elements are toned down in this puppy due to Chinese censorship. But the tension and flirty banter between the two leads is so blatantly obvious that there's literally no denying that these two are a couple. It is really difficult to make good fantasy anime these days that doesn't revolve around isekai, so it's even more impressive when you have one like this that does it so well. It's elevated even further by diving into Chinese mythology and truly letting their unique cultural voice shine. At this point, this is a cult classic and one that has taken the BL community by storm. I'm not sure when the third season will ever come out, but you best believe my ass will be seated when it does. Heaven Official's Blessing gets a 8.5 out of 10. Is Buddy Daddies a certified BL? No. Do I give a fuck? Absolutely not. This is my list, bitches, so get used to it. This puppy literally has two men raising a child together and then literally opening a beachside cafe at the end. I seriously doubt that they would be that close for that long if there wasn't some kind of romantic connection. But beyond that controversy, this is just a genuinely great anime. Think Spy X Family, but much darker and definitely a lot more brutal since both of the parents are assassins. My biggest complaint about this series was that there wasn't a second season. The first could have stayed exactly as it is, but the second could have done a major genre shift and become a wholesome slice of life about raising their daughter and running a cafe. What's even more impressive was that this was an entirely original anime, but that's also a downside because there is no manga to continue after you binge the series. It is a bona fide gem, and I wish that it got the hype that it 1000% deserves. Buddy Daddies gets a 9 out of 10. Dokusei is one of the most realistic depictions I have ever seen of teen boys falling in love. They are awkward and clunky and messy as hell, and it's wonderful. It is so exhausting seeing anime where they're just suddenly good at being a lovey-dovey couple. So it was refreshing to see two teens collide in each other's direction. They have no fucking idea what they're doing, and it's really awkward at times. But that's also what makes it so real. They say the wrong thing. They have sloppy as hell kissing, they get drunk and have dumb fights over nothing, and it's all complemented by a unique art style whose fluid messiness makes them feel like real ass people. The only downside is the predatory teacher who goes after one of the boys, but he promptly gets bitch slapped and all was well. I love this anime so much that I ran out and read all of the manga afterwards. I really hope that those stories one day get adapted too, because they also deserve to have their time in the sun. Dokusei gets a 9 out of 10. There are so few things in life that give me as much missed serotonin as Tadaima o Kairi. I was a massive fangirl of the series for years before the anime was even announced. There's just something wholesome and magical about the series that gives me hope for humanity. And if you know anything about me and my taste in media, that's saying a lot. This puppy got hardcore side-eyed by the mainstream anime community because it's an Omegaverse. In fact, I think this is the first and only anime Omegaverse adaptation. Now, a lot of people are very split on Omegaverse as a concept. Some people are into it, some people are just completely indifferent, and some people think that it's creepy and fetishizing. I personally enjoy it because I think that people of all genders should get to experience childbirth if that's something that they genuinely want to do. There is a lot of aspects of this series that bring me joy, but one of the biggest ones is the character of Misaki, who goes on a transformative journey to grow his self-esteem. With the help from his children, partner, and chosen family, he is able to overcome his own hang-ups and find a path forward. I just love this anime and I will forever be hyping it up. Tadaima o Kairi gets a 9 out of 10. Yaoi I might be the most famous BL of the modern age, and it's for very good reason. This is just a truly fantastic series that combined my favorite tropes: underdog finds his way, ice skating, and gay stuff. Like, it really doesn't get any better than that. I've honestly lost count of how many videos I've recommended this anime to on my channel, but it's a lot. There's not a ton more that I can say about this that I haven't already said 50 million times before. It's just an incredible series all around. The fandom is also wonderful, and also a little scary and intense sometimes. We collectively will never recover from the movie being canceled, and MAPPA is just straight up trash for announcing a 10-year anniversary event, which just ended up being lame merch instead of a movie. I think that it is very important to note that the insanely large Yaoi on Ice fandom helped push MAPPA to prominence during the 2010s. So to be completely thrown to the wayside is a disrespect that we should never forget. Do not take the high road, hold a grudge until the grave. But yeah, Yaoi on Ice gets a 9 out of 10. Just like Yaoi on Ice, the sheer amount of times that I've promoted Skate the Infinity rivals almost every other anime I've talked about over the 3 years of this channel's history, and for very good reason. Yes, this leans into more of the queer-coded rather than openly gay category, but even the English VAs have spoken at length about how they purposefully went out of their way to embellish the already gay messaging that's baked into the story. There is no realistic world where there isn't gay, and it's honestly kind of homophobic to think otherwise. I've already yapped about this puppy more than enough, so for now, I will just say I am so fucking excited about the news of production on season 2, and I will be crying when it comes out. Skate the Infinity gets a 9 out of 10. Modao Zushi is up there with my all-time favorite fantasy anime. This puppy is just so goddamn good, especially that first season. We are talking world building so vast and political intrigue so deep that you'd think we were talking about the first few seasons of Game of Thrones. The storytelling, mysteries, betrayals, and romantic throughline just make this so good. Y'all already know the deal about the Chinese censorship aspect, but I have heard that the live action makes it a lot more apparent, and the novels just get straight up spicy. It really hurts my heart to see so many in the anime community either 1, discount this for being a BL, or 2, discount this because they don't see Chinese anime as quote-unquote real anime. This truly is one of the best additions to the fantasy and supernatural genres as a whole, and one that absolutely deserves a mainstream audience. Modao Zushi gets a 9 out of 10. Number 6 is an absolutely incredible and jaw-droppingly good sci-fi anime. However, it is unfortunately seen as lost media for a lot of newer Gen BL fans. The license lapsed years ago, and it's next to impossible to stream this anywhere legally. And unlike other entries on this list, you can't even find the episodes on YouTube, which is such a massive shame because the feats that this puppy accomplishes are truly staggering. I just wish more than anything that someone would snatch up the license so that more of a mainstream audience could check this one out. It is far too good of a series to become a relic of lost media just because greedy corporations don't think that it's worthy enough to spend money on. Especially with Crunchyroll putting more and more behind a paywall, and most recently putting their entire store, which includes the entire Right Stuff anime manga store, behind a paywall. It's become more and more evident that they have completely forgotten their roots. And if number 6 has taught us anything, it is that greedy corporate entities will always have to face the music one way or another. Number 6 gets a 9 out of 10. Moriarty the Patriot is a true bona fide gem. Every single episode of this puppy absolutely hits, and especially in this day and age, she is more relevant than ever. For a Sherlock adaptation, this one easily clears every single other Sherlock adaptation on the market with ease, especially because this puppy actually leans into the gay element between Moriarty and Sherlock. The manga much more so, since the anime adaptation only covers so much ground, so it doesn't get to that part. But not only that, there is also incredible trans representation with the character of James Bond, who is one of the most badass characters in the entire series. In this day and age where the 1% and elites gallivant without any kind of consequence or accountability, it is so unbelievably cathartic to see someone actually doing something. Moriarty the Patriot is the catharsis I need in a world that feels so hopelessly out of control, and that is exactly why I love it. We are going to give Moriarty the Patriot a 9 out of 10. Devilman Crybaby is a BL, and I'm not going to hear anything otherwise. The entire series is a tragic look at two childhood friends whose friendship and very lives are tested by the worst catastrophe to ever hit humanity. Despite all of the insanity that screams around them, the anime starts and ends with their bond. I'm not going to say anything more about the plot because this is one you need to witness with your own eyes. I'm going to warn you though, this puppy will break you. Devilman Crybaby is the most fucked up anime I have ever watched. More fucked up than Berserk, more fucked up than Monster, and more fucked up than all of Fujimoto's work combined. This is the one. This anime is just perfect to me. But I also understand that with this one, you are either going to love it or you're going to come back to this video and leave me hate comments. Let me know where you fall below, because sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who is as obsessed with this anime as I am. Devilman Crybaby gets a 10 out of 10. And at number 1, we have The Summer Hikaru Died. Okay, so let me just come right out of the gate and tell you, because the mangaka has stated that this is not a BL. So why am I including this in a BL ranking? Well, because it is a perfect anime and there is no world where I don't take every possible opportunity to recommend it. Anime has a terrible track record when it comes to horror. Most of the times it falls completely flat, or it just isn't scary at all. The Summer Hikaru Died absolutely revolutionized the anime horror genre, giving us the greatest entry the genre has ever seen. It is a slow burn, but the tension builds in every single episode, and when it hits, goddamn. But it is not just a masterpiece because of the horror. It's a masterpiece because of what the horror represents. The monster in question is a metaphor for being gay in conservative rural Japan. It's about that feeling of being othered and how the stigma of simply being who you are, making you into a societal pariah. It also shows the danger of what violently suppressing that side of you can lead to. Is this all translated through a horror lens? Yes, but that's what makes the messaging hit that much harder. And the best part about all of this is that this has only just begun. Season 2 is already in production, and if it keeps up this level of quality, this will go down as one of the greatest pieces of queer media of all time. The Summer Hikaru Died gets a 10 out of 10. So to wrap things up, we are finally done. God damn, y'all. Like, this series put me through the absolute ringer, and I realize I've said that like 50 times, but I'm tired and this shit kind of broke me. Like, never have I watched such truly goddamn awful anime in my life. I seriously don't think I'm ever gonna recover from the unforgivable atrocities from part 1. I think this has given me a new appreciation for what terrible anime is. I feel like anything above a 3 out of 10 from here on out is gonna feel like a goddamn masterpiece. I know that even with all the anime that I watched for this project, there's still a lot that I missed, but that will have to be for another year's ranking. The sheer amount of suffering I put myself through for this, between the watch lists and making of the videos, which averaged to 30 to 50 hours per video for like 4 weeks in a row, was excruciating. So if you'd like to support me and validate my terrible life decisions, I've uploaded extended director's cuts of this entire series, which you can find on Patreon. You can scan for it up here, click in the description, as well as my YouTube memberships, which I just launched. Shout out to all of my Patreon producers, including Kathy Richwine, Jeff Friend, Karen Miriam Goldberg, Horsey Brad, and a special shout out to Legion Zero. This video series, it broke me. For the past 3 months, this has taken up the bulk of my free time, and the consequences have been severe. Other than the obvious financial hits from taking time off to work to complete this, the mental and physical stress this has put on my body has made a lot of bad things happen. I have had not 1, not 2, but 4 medical events in the past month alone. I've also had 2 severe mental health episodes, one of which was so bad that it required me to utilize my safety plan. But the worst part about all of this is that it's made me not enjoy making videos anymore. I am so beyond burnt out that I really worry that if I continue, I'm gonna end up hating making videos, and I'm not gonna be able to maintain this channel anymore. And okay, I can't do the voice anymore. I don't want to do that. Like, if I keep this going, I'm just gonna hate making videos, and I'm gonna hate maintaining this channel, and I don't want that. So I've decided to take a month or 2 off to just reset my nervous system and recover. I really want to brainstorm video ideas that make me excited to create again. I really want to find my love and passion for this so that I can learn how to make this channel sustainable for me again. I think a lot of us are really struggling these days, but I hardly see anyone talking about it. So I want to take a moment to let you guys know that it's not just you. I know this is the cheesiest shit ever, but you are not alone. And there is no shame for reaching out for help when you need to. Here are some resources for anyone who needs them. They're linked in the description for easy access as well. And the real truth is that I literally would not be here if I didn't ask for help. So please, do not hesitate to reach out. The world is better with you in it, and honestly, it would be kind of embarrassing if you let the bigots in power outlive your beautiful, authentic ass. Please take care of yourselves, you guys. I'm gonna go enjoy my break, actually leave the house for once. I'm even gonna take my girlfriend out on that date I've been promising her, and maybe I'll even touch some grass. I absolutely love y'all. Like, thank you so much for giving me this incredible platform and for letting me just exist as a neurodivergent queer weirdo on the internet for 3 years. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see all of y'all on the next one.